Hey guys, welcome to Sports Watch. On this channel, we're going to be learning everything there is to know about sports. So if you're a huge sports fan like I am, you've come to the right place, because I've got enough information for you to soak a winning coach. In today's video, we are going to be going into the worlds of football, basketball, and baseball, where I'm going to be letting you in on some of the origins of those sports. To kick things off, we've got American football. A real titan of American broadcasting, the humble origins of this sport, dating back to the mid to late 1800s, began as a rough fusion of rugby and soccer, or football for the rest of the world, brought together by the great melting pot that is the USA, where something was voraciously craved to make them stand apart from the rest of the world. This new sport finding its first latchings at the collegiate level with the college game days. Fast forward a century or so to the modern day, and American football is played in all levels of school, colleges, and a professional circuit where it's a big money earner. In all levels of play, players are required to have protective equipment to cover those areas where injury is most common and potentially hazardous, where they have helmets, face masks, shoulder pads, thigh pads, and mouth guards. At different levels of play, there are of course different rules and regulations dictating how long players can go for. In the collegiate and professional circuits, these games typically run for 60 minutes, divided into 4 15-minute quarters, where they are frequent stops in play, which can make games go on for upwards of 3 hours or more. High school games generally consist of 4 12-minute quarters, with lower levels of play having 4 8-minute quarters. Now, the first football games were arranged by amateur clubs and college athletic departments, both of which were anxiously searching for the best players, with the first official game of football being played between the colleges of Rutgers and Princeton on November 6th of 1869, with the rules later being codified in the 1880s when Walter Camp, a famous rugby player, pioneered the new rules that transformed the game. Time for a lineup change going into basketball. And of course, being a big fan of football, I find myself enamored with basketball too, and as a fan, have brought together for you some facts and facets of the game you're sure to love. The history of basketball begins in 1891, a time when rules were much different than what we're used to today. And as anyone who's played and watched basketball can see, it's not an easy sport by any means, taking endurance, teamwork, and skill to outscore the other team and win the game. Despite what some may think, there is more to basketball than just a court, a ball, and a referee. So, you may be wondering, how did basketball get its start? Well, for that, we need to look no further than a man named James Naismith, credited as the game's creator. Back in 1891, while working at a YMCA in Springfield, Massachusetts, he was tasked with creating a new winter activity to be played indoors. At the time, Naismith was a physical education teacher who wrote the original rulebook for basketball and went on to found the University of Kansas's basketball program. Now, this may sound strange, but the game was originally played with a soccer ball and 2 peach baskets, with string baskets we know today coming into play in 1900, with backboards coming even later, so as to prevent spectators from getting hit with the ball and thus distract the players. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the last inning, and onto the field comes running the great American pastime, baseball. Though played in other parts of the world, nowhere else is this game enjoyed and loved as much as in America, and I'm sure everyone is dying to learn more about it. Baseball became popular in America during the Civil War, and that popularity exploded after, when the soldiers who fought brought it home with them. With the first official baseball game being played in Hoboken, New Jersey between the New York Knickerbockers and the New York Nine on June 19th of 1846, though reports exist of the Knickerbockers playing games prior to that as early as 1845. And now it's time to switch batters and knock one out of the park with the Cincinnati Baseball Club, also known as the Cincinnati Red Stockings, who were founded in 1866. They were the first team to recruit and pay their players professionally. Following suit with more facts, the first baseball stadium was located at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and ran from 1909 until 1970. Now it's time for some facts. Starting off, we've got the first rule books. In 1845 came the Knickerbocker rules, and later came the Constitution and playing rules of the NLPBC in 1877, which are the rules of baseball as we know it today. But these rules have been getting updated yearly ever since. And I can't stand to forget Eddie Gaedel, who was the shortest ever Major League Baseball player, standing tall at 3 feet 7 inches. And of course, the man with the longest MLB career, Nolan Ryan, with a whopping 27 seasons and a blistering average pitch speed of over 100 miles per hour. Well folks, that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. And of course, if there's anything you'd like to have covered, leave a comment down below and we'll see about making a video going into it. For more interesting facts and videos, hit the subscribe button down below. And if you liked what you learned, drop some likes. And If you know someone who may like this content, be sure to send it their way. Until next time, this has been Sports Watch.